Hey everyone, welcome back. Psychopath1 here. No, I'm not dead yet. Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. Um, a lot of people consider this the first downfall of the Friday the 13th series, and I don't agree with that statement one little bit. Uh, Friday the 13th Part 5, yeah, it's the much maligned sequel. Um, but over the years, I've grown to like it, um, and I really like um, the performances by all the actors. Um, most notably John Shepard as Tommy Jarvis. Well, this one is not a direct sequel to the sixth movie. Uh, some people have even called this Terry versus Jason. Uh, apparently, uh, Paramount Pictures was going through uh, a dispute about Freddy versus Jason. Like they didn't want the Friday the 13th series to go on any further. This is their most hated franchise from from Paramount. Like it's the most loved franchise by fans, but Paramount absolutely despises the Friday the 13th series, even though it makes them a hell of a lot of money. Uh, but Friday the 13th Part 7, what can I say that hasn't already been said by the fans? Uh, this is a terrific movie. You've got great performances by Terry Kaiser, uh, Bernie himself from Weekend at Bernie's. He plays Dr. Cruz. Um, you've got the beautiful Laura Park Lincoln. Uh, I I still think she's beautiful. I've seen recent interviews with her, um, and she did an interview for the His Name Was Jason documentary, which I like that documentary, but I want to see a full-on documentary, uh, and it looks like Crystal Lake Memories is the way to go. Um, what this one is about, it starts off, you've got this little girl, she runs outside mad at her father because her father is really abusive, he's an alcoholic, and she says, she goes outside and he, Tina ends up, Tina is the girl's name, she's laying on the pier and saying, I wish you were dead. No, she's sitting on a boat and she's saying, I wish you were dead, I wish you were dead. And she makes it to where the pier actually topples and it kills her father. And she's like, no, Daddy, no, I don't want you to die, Daddy. And I'm just like, wow, what a way to start off the film. And before the actual start of the film, you get a little prologue of all the Friday the 13th movies, one, two, three, four, skips over five, and then six, and it's all narrated by Walt Gordy, I think his name is. He plays Crazy Ralph in the first two Friday the 13th movies. I would say the line, but I wouldn't get it word for word, and I am terrible when it comes to remembering lines. But this movie also gives the introduction to Kane Hodder. He is Jason. Whereas Friday the 13th Part 6 is played by C.J. Graham. He does a terrific job, don't get me wrong, but uh, Kane Hodder is to Jason as Robert Englund is to Freddy Krueger. A lot of people say that, and it's true. And you get the great makeup effects from from John Carl Buechler, or John Carl Buechler, depending on how you want to say it. Um, the MPAA murdered the shit out of this movie. I've seen some of that lost footage, and damn, it will never come to light as an official release. Uh, there have been bootleggers out there who actually incorporated the scenes back into the film. Like, you can tell when it's about to go to the scene because it will go from the natural camera angle to the really shoddy camera quality and everything. And John Carl Buechler on the Crystal Lake Memories has said there's no way you're going to be able to see a full uncut version of The New Blood. It just wouldn't be possible because of the negatives being gone and being under wraps for so long and being pretty much rotted away. So I would like to get an uncut copy of it, but the only way I'd be able to get it is from a DVD-R, which I'd be perfectly fine with. I'd just like to have an uncut copy of The New Blood. Um, this one is just a smidgen below the sixth one. This is probably my second favorite, and the final chapter is my third favorite. I don't really hate any Friday the 13th movies now. Uh, I've gotten more in touch with the fifth one. I've grown to really respect Jason Goes to Hell, even though the behind the scenes footage uh, with interviews from Sean S. Cunningham and uh, the other writers. Uh, Sean S. Cunningham did not like Jason. He did not like the look of Jason. He didn't like the hockey mask thing. And as soon as he got creative control in Jason Goes to Hell, he was like, "Oh, we're gonna have to get rid of that hockey mask. I don't like it." Well, it's what the fans saw throughout parts 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the icon. Like, other than Jason Voorhees, when people think of horror, they think of Jason Voorhees in the hockey mask. And anyways, uh, the little girl grows into Tina. Uh, the little girl Tina grows into Laura Park Lincoln, and she ends up re- she's recovering from the crazy house, not really in the asylum, but a rehabilitation center, trying to control her anger, and she ends up going to the house she grew up on, which is now the doctor's office of Dr. Cruz, played by Terry Kaiser. And Terry Kaiser is such an asshole in this movie. He's pretty much abusing the hell out of Tina. Uh, he wants her to get mad so that he can exploit her gift, which happens to be telekinesis. Um, and I'm just like, wow, what an asshole. And Tina just wants to live a normal life. Like, uh, she wants to get on with her life. And she ends up getting invited to a party, and she's like, kind of iffy about it, but her mother's like, oh, go ahead, socialize. Um, and before she goes, she ends up, no, after she goes to the party, she decides to go back to her old house again. now a doctor's office by Dr. Cruz. And they get into an argument, and Tina ends up going to the pier um, where her father died, and she's like, "Oh, I want to bring you back. I want to bring you back." But instead of bringing back her father, she brings back the mass murdering Jason Voorhees. Oh, good job, Tina. Good job. But you gotta bring back Jason somehow. Come on, it's the seventh movie. And Lord, is this one of... It is probably in my list of my all-time favorite slasher films. It's like I said in my last video. I've got a top 10 list of favorite slasher films, and the couple of the movies that are on that list are Friday the 13th films. And Tina ends up waking up Jason, reanimating Jason. And I know for a fact telekinesis doesn't work that way, bringing the person back to life. Uh, you would have to have some really strong powers in order to get that to happen. But it happened. And Tina ends up seeing Jason come out of the woodwork, and she faints. And she tells Dr. Cruz, and Dr. Cruz is just like, "Oh, it's just a reminiscence, lost memory of your father. And it's just a hallucination." And Tina's trying to tell him, it wasn't a hallucination. And you get some pretty awesome kills, but you can tell they were cut. Like you get a death, guy gets a party whistle shoved through his head, shoved through his ear, and out the other side. It was apparently supposed to go from one ear all the way to the other side of the head, but because of the Motion Picture Association of assholes, that footage is lost. They were like, "Oh, it's too graphic. It's this, it's that." Grow up. There is brutal stuff nowadays that I'm surprised gets released. Like, you've got stuff out now that is considered unrated. That's the best way to get the uncut versions of movies. And Tina is trying to stop Jason, and you get this big fight at the close to the end of the movie. You get a fight between a telekinetic girl and Jason Voorhees, and you're like, "Ooh, it's gonna get good," and it does. Tina ends up putting gasoline all over Jason, ends up igniting him on fire, and she cracks his mask, and it grows into the skull, and his skull ends up hemorrhaging, and the mask bursts. You get that awesome makeup by John Carl Buechler. It's pretty much, his face has rotted away. He's got the demonic eyes. He's got the rotten teeth. Damn good special effects, and he's got the bony back. And I'm just like, wow. Damn, that's how you do Jason. That's how you do the makeup effects for Jason. And I was mesmerized. I was like, damn. Back when I was a little kid, I'm like, dang, that is awesome. But Motion Picture Association of assholes, Paramount, and everybody that worked in the company were like, "Oh, we don't want to support Jason anymore. He's not good with the company." But yet, Friday the 13th makes them a hell of a lot of money. But what do I give Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood? I give it 9 out of 10. But I'm gonna end the video here because I'm running out of time, so peace.